Tommy Davis comes here nearly every day to the Hilltop Cemetery where his firstborn son, Corey, is buried. Do you like coming up here?
Yeah, yes, I feel like I'm closer to him here than I am anywhere.
Corey was just 20 when he lost his life in the mine explosion, the youngest to die. Tommy managed to get out alive that day, but what he suffered is almost unimaginable. He also lost his brother and nephew in the disaster. 5 years later, his grief remains overwhelming.
Our days now is pretty much like it is. What's what you feel, because you can't forget it. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. It's never ending until that day we meet again.
The pain is still raw at the QUARLES household as well.
To go deer hunting in these places, I cried going and I cried coming back.
Because he wasn't with you.
No, he wasn't with me.
Gary QUARLES' only child, 33-year-old Gary Wayne, was working nearly 1,000 feet underground, right at the spot where the disaster unfolded.
Oh, God, I've always wondered, why me? Why me? You know? Why should we have lost our son?
Family friend Dustin Ross was also in the mine, but closer to the exit.
The intensity that came was just indescribable. There was just all kinds of debris and, floating through, flying through the air, I should say.
Investigators determined a spark from a coal-cutting machine ignited methane gas. That small fire touched off a massive coal dust explosion.
We had to yell at each other, to hear, and we all kind of like held on to each other and, walked our way, back, to daylight.
Ross, who bears the psychological scars from that day, recently injured his eye in a mining accident. He's working coal again to support his family, but not near Whitesville, West Virginia, where memorials and memories are too fresh.
Seeing the reminders of it every day is, it's kind of hard to, get closure. Sometimes you just want to, to get away from it.
The Upper Big Branch mine was owned by Massey Energy and had racked up more than 500 federal safety violations the year before the explosion. Federal investigators blamed the blast on a, quote, series of basic safety violations and found Massey valued production over safety. Families of the 29 miners who are memorialized here outside one of the mine entrances are anxious for justice. 4 former Massey employees have already gone to jail. And now what many thought would never happen, the company's former CEO goes on trial later this month. Former CEO Don Blankenship faces 3 federal charges, including conspiracy to violate mine safety rules.
He knowed about all them violations. He knows about everything that went on over there. But yet for him not being the man he should have been, and the chief, and step up and push the button and say, stop, let's make this safe for these men. He let them men die that day.
As CEO of Massey,
Blankenship has pleaded not guilty. In a YouTube documentary he funded, he painted himself as a mine safety pioneer, and he blamed the tragedy on a natural gas explosion.
For one thing, I'm smart enough to know that keeping your coal miners safe and not having accidents is very profitable. So even those that think very badly of me and think that I'm solely focused on profit should understand that I also know that profit can only be derived from safe coal mines.
I never took my eyes off of him.
Gary QUARLES was in court the day Blankenship was charged.
I hope he gets found guilty and he has to spend quite a bit of time in jail.
The Upper Big Branch mine never reopened. Massey Energy was bought out by another firm, which closed the mine. But there's no closure for the families.
I go to the graveyard. I sit in front of the teardrop. And I talk and I tell him, I said, Daddy's still showing it. Daddy's still fighting for you, boy. And I'll continue to until I think justice has been served.
Lisa Stark, Al Jazeera, near Whitesville, West Virginia.